No, they're trump cards. Right, I just want to... You're just going to have to bear with me for this because I don't want to miss anything from this, so I won't be sort of like doing this business, okay? Thank you all very much for my leaving gift. Once upon a time, how it all began, a career officer came to my school in 1963 and asked me what my hobbies were, and I told him reading. Oh, well, he said, in that case, what do you think about working in a library? In those times, the ministry and the library were very acceptable, and I had no intention of doing A-levels, so the library seemed a good choice. Over the years, I progressed and became a first assistant, which is the equivalent of a grade 3 here, and I worked in city branches of the Central Library. My last post, before I had Jenny, was in housebound readers, and as the name suggests, we took books to the housebound in suitcases. And the first thing the old ladies said to you once you put your foot through the door, have you any Catherine Cooks? So, I left to have Jenny in 1978 with no intention of going back to work, but in 1980 I decided to apply for a part-time library assistant's post in the university. People who worked in the city libraries were like a step down from the university library staff. If you worked for the university library, you were somebody who was quite special and very intelligent. So I joined the elite. I don't know why they have labelled me. So I joined the elite as a part-time library assistant, and Alan Jeffries, who used to be head of cataloguing, told me that what had impressed him at my interview was the fact I had all my chair care arrangements in order, meaning, I suppose, that I was well organised or very confident I would get the job. Val Hunter and I shared a full-time job, and we were allowed to work our hours to suit, so there was an element of flexi time even back then. I remember John Morrow and Helen McFarlane beginning their careers in cataloguing in the old building, and Jill working on a placement from university in her gypsy skirts and her long curly hair. I've worked with some lovely people over the years. John Morrow, who once very subtly asked Val and I if we were bored. because we were chatting, and I told him, no, we're just talking about Christmas cakes. But we did get the message. And he was just such a lovely man. David, is David out in here? No. Oh, well, David, all the years of working together on relegation, one of my most rewarding times was making sense of the shelving bays in the old library and being involved in the huge relegation project to make space on the floors. And if I ever had any ideas and I put them to David, he nearly always said, do it. Which was really nice. Now I'll come to the thanks and apologies. Right. I would like to thank Pamela and Amanda for putting up with all my long periods of absence due to broken bones, cut hands, etc. I would like to thank my colleagues in TS and Customer Services and LIM for being such a lovely lot to work closely with. I apologise to the IT staff, who I must have driven mad because I'm not IT literate. They were always very patient with me. I apologise to Helen, who has very calmly explained things to me every Thursday night on a very, in capital letters, very regular basis. And honestly, I just wish I knew the name of this chap. I would like to thank, in his absence, the unknown academic who one night asked me why some research reserve items, or reserve research items, had Stormont numbers and others had Dewey shelf marks. At last. Something I knew. I was on a complete roll and I had to stop myself explaining the whole relegation process. I would like to get down on my knees and thank God for the STC. My refuge for moments of relief, somewhere to go and shelve and to count to 10. I would like to thank those colleagues with whom I have shared times of sadness and happiness and who in turn have become friends. It's been a pleasure over the years seeing the younger members of staff getting married and having their families of their own. This seems a bit unreal, but finally it's my time to say goodbye. You are all a lovely bunch of people, and I wish the Robinson, the Low and the Wanton Library continued success in the years to come. Just one more thing on a final note. Many of you know that we've been packing the house up, and I came across a letter from my late father. My parents were divorced when I was 14, and he had written to me about the job interview for the City Libraries that I had when I was 16. It was conditional on getting the O-level results. So before I go, I would just like to read you a few lines from that letter, which is very old. I am very pleased you have been accepted and hope you get your passes okay. The job should be ideal for you. It's a good wage that you will get, should you get your passes, especially when you get older. Well, I did get the necessary O-level results, and over 47 years the job has been very ideal for me. And last but not least, the money did get better. Thank you all very much.